Hi all and welcome to the Game Week 12 FPL preview. See again we are back after an international break and usually international break brings a lot of injury news, some player being fatigued and a couple of them not able to reach on time. So we need to consider a lot of things before we discuss about making a great team for FPL Game Week 12. So I'm your host Arshdeep Khurana from Sports Marvel and we would be discussing about what kind of players you can have in your team, which players you need to really replace because of injuries, and some of the players may not be available as well, and which teams have easier set of fixtures and which players you can bank upon. And probably the idea is to keep some of the players in your radar for next couple of game weeks rather than only the next week. So let's hope we can make up a great team and the transfers can be taken care of. If you want to play a wild card, so I would still suggest you to just hold on for a minute because still there are a lot of things which are yet to be settled in this season so far. So let's take it further, and I would request you to subscribe to our channel for all the FPL tips as well as Dream 11 tips. So, discussing about game week 12, let's look at what happened in game week 11 and which players actually made the dream team. So, I think one of the surprises, and I think there was a stat that around 270,000 people actually kept Cancelo on the bench, and I was one of them. I had him in my team, but I thought Manchester United they have always performed well against City, even though whenever they had have been in bad form as well. But City were brilliant, and two assists from Cancelo. 14 points with a clean sheet, bonus points, and also that was very painful to see that how he performed on the bench. And a lesson for me is the consistent players have to be taken care of. Secondly, I think I call him Bentley of defenders in FPL. That's Alexander Arnold, simply because of value of him at 7.6, 7.7. That's a huge value for a defender, but he's actually worth it. Scored a superb goal, got bonus points even though Liverpool lost against West Ham, but his performances were admirable. The way he played, and I think he deserved it. The bonus points as well as that wonderful curler of a free kick which he scored. So one of the best right backs in the country, even though not the preferred one for Gareth Southgate side. So try to have him if you have a lot of money to spend on defenders. But yes, he is a class act. Then Henry got a goal for Brentford. Good to see them score in that game. Brentford has gone just off the boil the last couple of game weeks. Earlier the start was brilliant. How they were playing against even the top sides. So yeah, that's one of the things which you need to look at how Brentford progresses. Fornals was very good. I think in the last couple of game weeks, and I think the top players of West Ham, which were Ben Rama and Antonio, they have just taken a back seat, and we have seen the likes of Fornal and Bowen and Declan Rice really picking up their game and actually doing phenomenally well. So Fornals, unfortunately, there is a knock. Not so sure if he would be starting the next game and all, but he had a great performance. Then Conor Gallagher, I think he has been a revelation for Crystal Palace for some weeks now, and the way he plays, I think initially when Crystal Palace were not scoring many goals, a lot of people said that he is the one to look out for in Crystal Palace, and I think he's justifying it along with Wilfred Zaha. So these two are great bets if you really want to have people from Crystal Palace in your team. So yep, they played phenomenally well. Isaac Hayden scored a goal, a 1-1 draw from Newcastle. So against Brighton. So Trossard and Hayden got into the scoring sheets, and there they are in the dream team. So one goal each. Harvey Barnes scored a goal, but unfortunately, still he went off after 70 minutes. So we have to see what his injury status would be. Probably that would be cleared once the managers do their pre-match conferences, and they would actually give you the exact update that how which kind of players would be starting. And Adam Armstrong, I think he has kind of justified his tag of being a Danny Ings replacement this summer, and coming from Blackburn Rovers, again a club playing in Championship football for a while now. So he's doing really well. I think his performances has been brilliant. So in a way, it's a good thing to see even Pookie being on the dream team. See, he again, along with Cancelo, Pookie was also on my bench. So I had 23 points, which were absolutely wasted. Pookie had not done much of things, but the first game which Norwich won, unfortunately, it was followed by the sacking of their manager Fake. So, kind of an ironical result, I would say. And Pookie doing well. And again, I think it was the first game when he was on my bench, and probably Cancelo as well. So, next time, just have a look at my bench. Probably it will give you more points than actually the team which I am suggesting. But yes, he did well. Scored a penalty. Yeah, always it's always good to have the people who take penalties, who would be doing, they would get opportunity here or there. I'm talking about only one team for this week which has favorable fixtures, and it comes at a very good time for Antonio Conte taking over the Tottenham at this point of time when everybody speculated he would go to Manchester United. But look at the fixtures which Conte has, and being an Italian manager, looking at his past history, looking at how he plays. The first game he played against Everton was a 0-0 draw. It gives you a fair idea about how Conte wants to go there. He wants to ensure the team is very strong at the back and then probably improve further going forward. So the teams which they are facing in the next 5 fixtures: Leeds United at their home, Burnley away, Brentford home, Norwich home, Brighton away. See, look at the teams where they are right now. Leeds at 15th, Burnley at 18th position in the table, Brentford 14th, Norwich the last team, Brighton, even though they are 7th, but they have been like often on and off, especially after a great start which they had. So what I strongly feel that you can expect a lot of clean sheets, from Tottenham in these fixtures. So I'm going for at least 3 clean sheets which you can see from Tottenham, and obviously you may also see their forwards and actually and midfielders performing admirably well. So a great opportunity for Antonio Conte to establish himself in the Premier League once again. So now let's talk about one of the players which would be definitely replaced. That's Robert Sanchez, who got a red card and who was suspended for next couple of games as well, apart from this one. So he would be back only after 27th. So I have shortlisted 3 goalkeeper who are at kind of a similar level and at a similar value, because Roberto Sanchez was at 4.6. So this goalkeeper, we spoke about Aaron Ramsdale in my last video as well, that how he has improved Arsenal along with Gabriel. So still, next where Arsenal are traveling is Liverpool. Now that's going to be tricky for Ramsdale, but Liverpool have not been that great at home for a while now. They are brilliant when they travel, even though they lost against West Ham. That's the beauty of Premier League. But Ramsdale, just never know. I mean, being a Liverpool fan, as you can see, I mean, I don't want Arsenal to keep a clean sheet, but definitely there is an opportunity for Ramsdale to save a lot of shots, to face a lot of shots, and probably just build on some of the points. But the record has been mighty impressive. Arsenal's defensive record: 8 matches played, just 4 goals conceded. That's just 0.5 goals a game, which is staggering. And he has saved 25 shots. Shots saved per game is 3.1. You get a value, get 1 point for all the 3 shots that you save. And his FPL points have been 5.7 per game, which is very high at this point of time. So keep him under his radar. Don't think about only Liverpool game, because Arsenal have been doing really well after the first 3 games wherein they didn't do anything, to be honest, right? This is a great player to have right now at a value of 4.7. I won't be surprised if he goes to 5.2 very soon. So you can definitely consider him. Then Vincent Guaita. Now I think Guaita, subsequently Vieira is now just stamping his authority on Crystal Palace, the way they are playing. I think the belief is back. The passionate football is back. The way they are playing, uh, improving with with each passing week. So Vincent Guetta 4.6. He's played several matches. He's conceded 14 goals. Yeah, that's 2 goals per game. But most of these goals were conceded in the early part of their season, and they've kept 4 clean sheets. Now, out of 7 matches he's played, he's kept 4 clean sheets. That's actually pretty good. And the shots saved per game is 3.4. That's very high. And he has got FPL points of 43, which is around 4 points a game. So I believe that's a good start. And against Burnley away, now Burnley did very well against Chelsea in the last game, got 1 point at Stamford Bridge, which is a great feat, I would say. But we won't be surprised if Crystal Palace also keeps a clean sheet at Burnley. So this is one player which you can consider if you are a Crystal Palace fan, and maybe if you have enough players of Arsenal wherein you cannot have Ramsdale in your team. Then Alex McCarthy. McCarthy, I think Southampton look very strong right now. Talking about their defense, 11 matches they have played, 12 goals conceded, 5 clean sheets, 28 shots that have been saved. So he has acquired 47 points, which is 4.3 per game, and the next opposition is Norwich away. Even though Norwich has won, but in the last game that was the first one. But Norwich again, sacking of Ake, getting Dean Smith, who was actually sacked by Aston Villa. Now this is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know how the performances would be against a very tough Southampton side, so we have to look at it whether it would be a great thing for Southampton to keep a clean sheet and a great opportunity. So there's a big chance. So Alex McCarthy for me would be, I think you can consider him for sure, because at the same value of 4.6. It's your choice if you want to go with Ramsdale, Vincent Guetta, or if you want to go with some players, some keepers with higher value. But out of all these three, I am going for Alex McCarthy right now. So now look at some of the players which we are suggesting which you need to buy. I think this one for me, I think he is one of the most impressive defenders of Tottenham. We spoke about the fixtures of Tottenham, how good they are, what kind of opportunity it brings them to play. So Sergio Reguilon, he has kept 4 clean sheets. I mean, the Tottenham has kept 4 clean sheets, but he has got 1 assist and 4 bonus points as well. And even though when we have seen that Tottenham has actually struggled in defense, now we're pretty sure that there would be a lot of positive changes, and we believe that Sergio Reguilon would be somebody who would be starting a lot of games for Tottenham. So at a value of 5.0, giving an FPL points of average 4.1, now seeing the favorable and mouth-watering fixtures, with all due respect to the teams which they have to play in the next 5 games. So I think this is a great opportunity for you to get him in your team. And if you're looking for stability at a lower cost, you cannot afford players like Trent or maybe Reece James or somebody at maybe 6.2, get him in your team. That would be really beneficial for you. Now, another player which I am really keen right now to discuss, staying with the Tottenham, would be Son. We have discussed earlier as well. Now, Son is an interesting choice. 10 matches played, 4 goals, 2 assists, 8 bonus points. Now, what happened with Tottenham was the performances of Harry Kane were not up to the mark. His head was probably not at the right position because of thinking about whether he would be staying in Premier League, whether he would be leaving. But now, with Antonio Conte in the team as a head coach, I think it's a great opportunity for even Kane and for Tottenham actually to come out of the rut which they are in and probably do well. And I guess this motivation of Harry Kane would do wonders to his confidence as well. So the fixtures you already know about Tottenham, but 5.8 points per match for Son when the team has actually struggled to score many goals. I think it's an absolutely a great stat, and I think it's only going to get better. So you can have Son in your team as well. Now, another player which I would be discussing with you, another choice for West Ham, as I've said, 2 players, Benrahma and Mikel Antonio, have slightly struggled in the last 3 to 4 games, wherein they have actually not done much as far as the attacking threats are concerned. But Bowen has actually picked up his game beautifully, and with Fornals not 100% sure whether he will be playing, I think you can bank on Bowen right now. 11 matches, 2 goals, and 6 assists. Now, 6 assists is a brilliant effort in 11 matches, considering that earlier Benrahma and Conte were the ones who were Antonio, Mikel Antonio rather. He was the one, these guys were actually doing bulk of the scoring and assisting. So, Bowen, for me, 0.52 his expected goals scored plus assist if you combine, so that's almost zero point 0.5 per game. So every second game he would be either getting a goal or an assist, so that's a great point. And 5 points per match with ever improving Bowen for this season, I think you can surely look for him. In case you do not have that much of a budget, you have a 6.5 kind of a range, this is a player you can definitely get. Now, this player which I'm talking about with Crystal Palace, I think he has been in the last 2 to 3 dream teams of FPL. I'm talking about Conor Gallagher. 5.9 value, again a pretty cheap option. He was at 5.4, 5.5 I think few weeks back only, so you can understand how many people are getting him in the team. 4 goals, 4 assists, 9 bonus points. Again, every second game he would be getting a goal and assist. FPL points, now this is incredible stat, 62. This is 6.2 per match of a team which has not been known to score many goals. Only in the last few games we have seen them doing really well. So he does bulk of the work along with Zaha, and he's a kind of a sure starter. And looking at the fixtures, I think these fixtures are decent fixtures for Crystal Palace, and I strongly believe that there are a lot of more points for Conor Gallagher as well. So at this value you can surely get him. Then let's come to the forwards now. Forward staying with Mikel Antonio, even though the last 3 games have been kind of disappointing for him, not doing anything, but there's something known as that he's due. This is what it would be about Mikel Antonio. He's definitely due to score goals or assisting something. The reason I say so is, look at what he has done so far. The expected goals and assists is 0.81 per 90 minutes, which means that every 4 matches he would at least have scored 3 goals, or if you put every 5 matches there would be 4 games wherein he would be assisting or scoring a goal. FPA 0.61, 6.5, 6.1 per match, and again value at 8.2. Now you have so many forwards which are very expensive. Harry Kane plus 12, Vardy plus 10, or you talk about any such, even there are a lot of players which are at the range of 8.5, which are genuinely top class players, and he's one of them. So in forwards, I think his rank is number 1 right now, the way he has been doing against the fixtures. Fixtures are slightly tricky for West Ham, Wolves, City, United, Chelsea, Burnley, Brighton. Tricky fixtures, but a team like West Ham, third in the third in the table, just defeated Liverpool. Good team right now. I think they are a pretty strong contender as well to at least qualify for Champions League places. So this is a player you can surely keep a tab on. Now this is a differential pick for me. We don't call Harry Kane a differential pick. What he has done in the Premier League, a kind of a golden boot winner for so many seasons together, and now we are saying that he's a differential pick. Now this is purely because of the stats which he has: 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 bonuses. Expected goal and assist is not even half a game, but cannot count out this great player yet. We have already discussed about the fixture list, a very promising fixture list, and Harry Kane with Conte at his back, with some kind of a motivation back for the team. I am pretty sure Harry Kane's form is going to make a swift turn, and he's at 12.2. You might feel that the value is extremely high, but not many people are owning Harry Kane right now. So if you are really brave enough, and if you want to have some sort of a forwards, maybe a lot of players are actually taking out Jamie Vardy this time, because again he has suffered a kind of a lean patch, and if you really want to take a chance, take a punt on Harry Kane, and then let's see what happens. So that's one of the things which you can surely do if you are really brave enough. So what I have done in my team, again, see, my biggest challenge is not to pick my team, but the challenge is actually to pick my bench. Because I feel that all my players who are even on my bench can actually perform well. That is happening for the last 2 weeks. For me, the last two game weeks, I'm actually suffering from the same thing. So I don't know if something would happen positively for this game week, but I'm still hopeful that it would work for me for sure. So I have McCarthy, so I've made one change. I had to leave out Roberto Sanchez because he's suspended, and I've got McCarthy, a Southampton, a keeper. I have got Reece James in my team, strong player. I think he is. You can see a star. He's a kind of a dream player right now. He's in form. I still have Jensen now. Jensen, I'm not so sure if I would continue having Jensen in my team now. Jensen, because I'm not very sure about Jensen, is because Brentford has actually suffered in the last couple of games. Now, my only problem here is on my bench, I have Ben White traveling to Liverpool away. Not so sure he would be doing really well. Ismail Sarr's form has been up and down. He was on my radar if I wanted to leave him out, but Sarr, you cannot leave him out. Even though the match is against Manchester United, United's defense is not the best. So that's another player I'm struggling. And Pookie scored in last game. Still not 100% sure whether Jensen would be playing, so I might make one change. I might get Pookie playing instead of Jensen, but this is something which is still out for a discussion. And in the midfield, I have Foden, I have Son, I have Mo Salah, I have Conor Gallagher, and forwards I have Vardy and Tony. So that's my team. This team I believe would be a strong team, but let's see how it works out. So captaincy picks. Captaincy picks is always a tricky one as far as picking up the players is concerned, especially considering that my captaincy pick, which has been Mohamed Salah for so many game weeks, has actually not done anything in the last two games, which is kind of surprising the way he has been. He's been absolutely in smashing form, but the last two games he has suffered. So in this game, considering Arsenal has just conceded 4 goals in this season, and Mo Salah not scoring in the last few games, would it be wiser for us to still back Salah, or should we look at somebody else? The answer is no. I am not looking anywhere else. I'm still going with Salah. The reason is Salah's record versus Arsenal. In 9 matches he has played against Arsenal, he scored 7 goals, and there are 2 assists there as well. So the record for the season is still phenomenal. 12 matches, 10 goals, 6 assists. But what he has done against Arsenal is, again, it's commendable. So he has contributed 9 goals through goals and assists in the 9 games he has played. So the record is absolutely stellar. So I am going with Salah once again, and I am not tinkering with it. So that's about my discussions about the midfielders, the forwards, the players that you need to have, the players that you can look to replace if they are injured. And let's hope, still figuring it out with all the fantasy managers how things would be. But my suggestion to you would be that still do not jump the gun of playing wildcard so early. I mean, there was a thing to think about whether you want to play a wildcard or not. I've seen a lot of fantasy managers actually playing wildcards, but if you have made those changes, one or two, considering that not everybody in your team is kind of injured or is woefully out of form, I think just keep it with you right now. So thank you so much. Let's hope that this game week is fruitful for you as always, and let's catch up for next game week with more insights on FPL, and probably give you better advice on how you can go ahead in the near future as well. So take care, and let's meet soon. Cheers.